Welcome back, my second grade friends. I'm excited for the second part of our story, our two-part series on Beauty and the Beast. We have a learning target, just like always. Take a look up, other side up there. So here's my learning target. I can describe how characters respond to major events and challenges. So, how are the characters going to respond? How is Beauty going to respond when she has to go live with this terrible beast? All right. There's a new word for this story. In this story, you're going to hear the word constant. Constant means happening all the time or over a long period of time. Like, um, students are constantly interrupting the teacher. No, that doesn't happen anymore because we're all online. Um, my dog is constantly wanting to go for a walk. So it happens all the time. Mr. Corcoran constantly makes mistakes. Can you think of something that's constant? Well, we're going to hear about something that's constant in this story. This is part 2 of Beauty and the Beast. A few days later, the merchant told his daughters what had happened to him in the rose garden at the beast's castle. He told them how he had plucked the rose and been confronted by the beast. He explained that he had promised to return to the beast and accept his punishment. "Do you have to go?" pleaded the girls. He explained that the beast had said that the only way for him to avoid it would be if one of them was willing to go and live with the beast. "But I won't allow that," exclaimed the merchant. "But I won't allow that," exclaimed the merchant. "I will go," Beauty said quietly. "No, Beauty," said her father. "I am the one who took the rose. I shall go back to the beast. I would rather go myself for 100 years than send you." "No, father," said Beauty. "I want to go." Her father tried to change her mind, but Beauty was determined. A few days later, Beauty and her father returned to the castle. When she first saw the beast, Beauty could not help shuddering, but she tried to conceal her fear. "Good evening, old man," said the beast. "Is this your youngest daughter?" "Yes," said the merchant. "This is Beauty." Beauty curtsied before the beast. "Good evening, Beauty," said the beast. "Are you here to take your father's place and live here with me in the castle?" "Yes, I am," said Beauty. The following day, the beast gave Beauty's father a trunk filled with gold coins and sent him on his way. As Beauty watched her father ride away, she held back her tears. "Beauty," said the beast, "fear not. Things are not as bad as they may seem. You have given yourself for your father's sake, and your goodness will be rewarded. Listen to me and heed my words. This advice: do not be deceived by appearances. Trust your heart, not your eyes." The next day, Beauty explored her new home. The beasts had been right. Things were not as bad as she had feared. The palace was actually quite lovely. She found a huge library filled with books, and she had always wanted to read. She went for a walk in the lovely gardens where the songbirds chirped her favorite tunes. When it was time for dinner, Beauty was greeted by a staff of pleasant servants who prepared none other than her favorite meal. "Good evening, Beauty," said the beast. Beauty was still startled by the beast's appearance, but the more time she spent with him, the more she found that he treated her with kindness and courtesy. He pulled out her chair and sat next to her at dinner. He listened to her stories about her family and spoke kindly to her while they dined. The dinner turned out to be less painful than Beauty had imagined. When it was over and it was time to say good night, though, the beast turned to Beauty and asked, "Do you love me, Beauty? Will you marry me?" Beauty didn't know what to say. She was afraid. She was afraid that the beast would be upset if she declined. Seeing this, the beast said, "Say yes or no without fear." Trusting his words, Beauty replied, "No, thank you," as gently as she could. "Very well," said the beast. "Good night, then." After every night was much the same. Beauty dined with the beast, and the beast treated her with great kindness. She even began to enjoy his conversation. Little by little, Beauty got used to the way he looked. Despite his appearance, Beauty found the beast polite and his elegant manners to put her fears at rest. But when the meal was over, it was time to say goodnight. The beast always turned to her and asked, "Do you love me, Beauty? Will you marry me?" Although she cared for him and more each passing day, Beauty always felt that, as hard as it was, the only answer she could give was no. One night, the beast noticed a sorrowful look on Beauty's face. "Beauty," he said, "I cannot bear to see you unhappy. What's the matter?" "Oh," she said, wiping away a tear, "I'm just sad because I miss my family." She paused, "Especially my father. He's getting older and his health is failing. I worry that he may need me. If only I could see him just to make sure that he is well." "But Beauty," said the beast, "if you leave me, I fear that I will never see you again and I will be alone forever." "Dear beast," said Beauty softly, "I do not want to leave you. I would be very sad if I could not see you again, but I long to see my father. If you will let me go for 1 month, I promise to come back and stay with you for the rest of my life." "Well, very well," sighed the beast. "But remember your promise and wear this locket as a constant reminder. When you want to come back, simply open the locket and say the words, 'I wish to go back to the beast.'" When Beauty awoke the next morning, she was in her father's house, not the old country cottage, but a fine new house in the city, and bought he had bought with the riches that the beast had given him. Her father hugged her and wept for joy when he saw her. Soon, Beauty's sisters came to visit with her new husbands. They seemed to be happy, but Beauty could tell that they were not. One sister married a very handsome man. Another One sister had married a very handsome man who was in love with his own face, and he thought of nothing else. Soon Beauty's sisters came to visit with her new husbands. Soon Beauty's sisters came to visit with their new husbands. Let's try this. Soon Beauty's sisters came to visit with their new husbands. They seemed to be happy, but Beauty could tell that they were not. One sister had married a very handsome man who was in love with his own face, and that in face that he thought of nothing else. The other sister had married a clever man who entertained himself at others' expense. Day after day, Beauty enjoyed being with her father and doing whatever she could to help him. When the time came for her to return to the beast, she found that she could not bring herself to say goodbye to her father. Every day she told herself, "Today I will go back." But every night she put it off. Then one night she dreamed that she was wandering in the garden around the beast's castle when suddenly she heard painful groans. She followed the sounds and discovered the beast lying on the ground, and it seemed he was hurting. Beauty awoke. "Oh no! How could I do this to the poor beast?" she cried. "It does not matter that he is not handsome. Why have I been refusing to marry him? I would be happier with him than someone like my sisters have married. The beast is honest and good. That matters more than anything else." She opened the locket hanging around her neck and said firmly, "I wish to go back to the beast." In an instant, she found herself at the palace. But where was the beast? Beauty ran through the rooms of the castle, calling for the beast. There was no answer. Then she remembered her dream. She ran to the garden, and there she found the beast stretched out on the ground. Beauty cried, "Oh, he is..." She couldn't bring herself to finish the sentence. "It's all my fault." She fell to the ground and took him in her arms. Beast lay still, and as Beauty's tears fell upon his face, when he slowly opened his eyes. "Oh, Beast," Beauty sobbed, "how you frightened me. Thank goodness you're still alive. I never knew how much I loved you until now, when I feared it was too late." In a faint voice, Beast said, "Beauty, I was dying because I thought that you had forgotten your promise, but you have come back. Can you really love such a dreadful creature as I am?" "Yes, Beauty, I do love you." "Yes," said Beauty, "I do love you." Then, once again, the beast asked, "Beauty, will you marry me?" "Yes," she answered. "Yes, Beast, I will marry you." Beauty, before she finished speaking, a flash of light beamed around her. Beauty gasped and covered her eyes to shield them from the bright light. When she opened her eyes again, she no longer saw the beast, but there, lying at her feet, was a handsome prince. "What happened to my beast?" she asked the stranger, noticing that there was something familiar about his eyes. "I was the beast," said the prince. "A fairy put a spell on me and changed me into a beast until someone would agree to marry me. You are the only one who has been good enough to see past my appearance and into my heart." Beauty gave the young prince her hand to help him to his feet, and they walked side by side into the castle. They were married the very next day, with Beauty's whole family there to help celebrate, and they lived happily ever after. Thank you for joining me for the second part of Beauty and the Beast. That was fabulous. I can describe how characters respond to major events and challenges. That is our learning target for this lesson. How do you think Beauty felt when she faced challenges? How do you think the Beast felt? How did the father and the sisters respond when they had challenges in the story? And then you heard the word constant. Constant. And I believe that Beauty said that it had been a constant reminder. But remember your promise and wear this locket as a constant reminder. That the locket was a constant reminder of the beast so that she would not forget him. And that was the word constant, which means happening all the time or over a long period of time. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in our next lesson.